Good morning and welcome to the Daily Light Devotion. I hope all of you have had a wonderful Saturday and 14th of February yesterday. Today I'm recording for the 15th of February and we're going to look at Leviticus chapter 20 and 21. The theme is God's holiness, protected and perfected high priest revealed. And in the New Testament, we're going to look at Matthew chapter 28, the whole of Matthew chapter 28. We're going to finish the first book on the New Testament. That is the book of Matthew, the first gospel today, the whole chapter. So these two chapters in Leviticus 20 and 21 continue with holiness code, but now focuses are sharpened. Right, chapter 20 is shows the seriousness of sin. Chapter 21 shows the standard of the high priest. Together, they answer one question: how can a holy God live among his people? And the answer directly points us to Jesus. Right, verse 20, Leviticus 20 lists severe consequences of persistent sin. God is not being cruel, he's protecting his people. And sin destroyed individuals and communities. Jesus takes the penalty of our sin upon himself. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, Isaiah 53:5. God takes sin seriously because he takes his people seriously. They're important to him. Verses 26, you are to be holy to me, I have set you apart. Holiness is about belonging, not superiority. Right? And Jesus sets his people apart through grace. You are a chosen people, 1 Peter 2:9. Holiness flows from identity, not fear. Moving in Leviticus 21, we see the priests were called at a higher standard because they represented God to the people. They had to be pure, whole, and undefiled. Jesus is the perfect high priest. Holiness, holy, being holy, blameless, pure, set apart for sinners. Hebrews 7:26. So Jesus meets every requirement we could never meet. Right, and verses 17 to 23. A priest with physical defects could not serve at the altar. This symbolizes perfection, not human worth. Jesus is without defect, a lamb without blemish or defect. 1 Peter 1:19. Jesus alone is perfectly qualified to represent us before God. And the bigger picture in both these is that Leviticus 20 shows why we need a savior. Leviticus 21 shows what kind of savior we need. And Jesus fulfills both. So what are some of the key takeaways? God's holiness must be honored. Sin carries a real consequence. God desires a holy people. So Jesus is the perfect high priest. Grace meets holiness, holy standards, right? And moving over to Matthew 28, the theme is the risen king, the victorious authority, and the mission of hope. So Matthew 28 is like I said, is the climax of first gospel. The cross is not the end. The tomb is empty. What was sealed by the guards is now opened by God. And here we see Jesus not as a suffering servant, but as a living and reigning king. Verses 1 to 7, an angel rolls back the stone. The guards shake with fear, and the message is simple and powerful. He is not here, he has risen. Jesus has conquered death. The resurrection is God's declaration of victory. Verses 8 to 10, the women run with fear and great joy. Jesus meets them and speaks peace. The risen Jesus comforts and reassures. Don't be afraid. Right? Encountering the risen Christ changes fear into joy. Right? The guards are bribed to spread lies by the Pharisees. Human power tries to, this is in verse 11 to 15. Human power tries to silence resurrection truth. The resurrection cannot be hidden. Lies may spread, but the truth always stands. Verses 16 to 18, Jesus meets his disciples on the mountain. Some worship, some doubt. All authority in heaven and earth has been given to me. That's what he says in these verses, that is 16 to 18. Jesus is the risen Lord with total authority. Our mission flows from his authority. When we submit to his authority, and it is used to serve. That is when the authority of God, when we come under the authority of Jesus, we start, the authority starts working over whoever we are praying over our situations, because the whole aim, authority is, the spiritual authority is released when we submit to it, right, and we use it for service. So these two are very important ingredients. Verses 19 to 20, Jesus sends his followers to all nations. They are to make disciples, baptize, and teach. He ends with a promise: I am with you. See, Jesus is the ever present Savior, right? We never go alone. The risen Christ goes with us. The bigger picture is the empty tomb, living Savior, and global mission. The gospel moves from resurrection to restoration to responsibility. So, what are some of the key takeaways? Jesus is risen and alive, death is defeated, truth cannot be silenced, and Jesus has all authority. The risen King sends his people, and I want to encourage you, Christianity is not built on teaching, but on a living Savior. Jesus is alive, Jesus reigns, and Jesus is with us always. So we have to go in confidence, hope, and obedience and preach the gospel and follow his command to go into the world and make disciples, teach them, baptize them, right? And it is our responsibility, it's our mission in life to bring them back to the Father through Jesus Christ. Have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Bye.